sometimes I get scared because the fellowship that saved my life is not the same fellowship that it used to be. It's changing. It's changing and becoming different than it's ever been. And this is a very frightening thing for me. In that I want everybody to know, for me, that I really believe that within our traditions, I don't know a lot about the concepts. I never spent time even trying to figure out what the concepts were. I've read through them. I understand what they mean, what they're saying, but the traditions are there. They've kind of made everything possible for us. They kind of somehow or another, you know, I believed as I read through the concepts, somehow or another they watered down the traditions and allowed this to begin the process of deteriorating the service structure that I knew. The group conscience. Today we don't have a lot of group conscience anymore. We have a lot of group consensus. We have a lot of talk. We just don't have a lot of group conscience anymore, especially when it comes to our literature. And I do believe that, you know, that we in the United States really do need to have some sort of literature committee going on that writes literature for the people here. The people that are here in the United States. We need a United States Service Committee or conference, whatever we want to call it. That doesn't matter to me. But somehow or another, I'd like to be involved like I used to be and have that excitement level once again to be able to be part of something. I'd like to also have my sponsees to be part of something. To be, you know, whether they're great writers or no great writers or what, no matter what, because I'm not. I tell you, I couldn't write anything. But I do have ideals. I do have thoughts. And I'd like to see the thoughts be down on paper sometime. I would like to, you know, put thoughts down about what recovery is really about, in my eyes. To be able to share them out and maybe see some of it on paper at some point. But truly, as it is right now, that's not going to happen. Because I'm not a professional. And I'm not in that capacity. It won't make it. So today, you know, I ask everybody who's hearing this, or if they ever hear this, to try to be part of a group conscience. Be involved in what's going on. You know, we can change this. We don't have to go backwards in time, but we can become part of again. We can start writing our literatures again. We can put our ideas down on paper. We can become part of something that's happening here in the United States. It's great that there are other parts of the world that have literature going on. It's great that there's somehow or another that the meetings are happening all over the world. Yet I'm interested in what's happening right here in my own country. What happened? How did somehow or another we lose our traditions? How did we get to this point that somehow or another the traditions really don't matter? You know, how does it get to the point that somehow or another that the pyramid has been turned right side up and that the attic becomes the least important and the world service becomes the most important entity? You know, I just know that for myself, you know, I hope that someday I get to be part of this process that's going on, that somehow or another we can become part of the literature committees again, writing some of our own literature, becoming part of the group conscience that takes place once again, and that somehow or another I can see the sponsees and maybe grand sponsees be part of this wonderful thing that I call Narcotics Anonymous. I love Narcotics Anonymous. It saved my life. I've been clean a long time now. And without it, I would not be clean. And I'm afraid that somehow or another, we're losing the magic that was once there in that. So just for today, anyways, I'm not sure who's going to see this. I'm not sure who's going to hear it. But I do plead with you, you know, and I pray that somehow or another that we find ourselves coming back to group conscience, and that we somehow or another come back to our traditions, and remembering that we are trusted servants. And You know, the vote has to start here at the group, as an individual. It has to start here. If somehow or another somebody is making my vote for me or telling me how it's going to vote, I've lost something precious. I lost my right to vote and that freedom to be what I got here to be, an individual with some ideals, and to be able to put those ideals out on a table and see them to develop into something that was going to be really, really nice and help many addicts along the way. Thank you very much for letting me share.